John Wick, the man, the myth, the legend.
A series of movies first started in 2014 by the directing duo of Chad Stahelski and David Leitch, based on a screenplay crafted by Derek Kolstad. The series follows John Wick, a retired assassin going back into the underworld of criminal organizations, assassins, and a dozen different doodads and gizmos to take revenge on Theon Greyjoy for murdering Daisy, a dog given to John as a final gift from his now dead wife. And you know all this, because there is no way in hell that you clicked on this video without watching some, and most likely all, of the John Wick movies. And good, because they're fucking awesome.
John will come for you.
However, there is one small issue with the John Wick series, and funnily enough, it is an issue that Mr. Wick seems to uniquely share with... a series of books written by Stephanie Meyer and later adapted to film by Catherine Hardwicke. The series follows Bella Swan, a moody teenager who finds her way to a small town of Forks, where through a weird guy stalking her, she joins a coven of vampires.
You brought a snack. A human? The girl is with us. I think it best if you leave.
Ah, shit. You've broken the bloody window.
And you know all this, because I'm certain that whether seriously or for fun, you've seen Twilight at least once. And good, because it's fucking hilarious.
You're beautiful.
Beautiful. This is the skin of a killer, Bill. I'm a killer.
I don't believe that.
As if you could outrun me!
The first John Wick movie was a tale as old as time. A story of a man who has nothing, finding something and it being brutally taken from him, sending him on a path of vengeance. Three things, however, made John Wick unique amongst other revenge flicks at the time.
I kind of enjoyed that.
Yeah, I don't think I really need to comment on this. I will just say that this is what you get when you combine a dedicated actor and directors who worked as stunt guys slash coordinators for 20 fucking years. Bless you both, Chad and David. You both are fire directors with all these movies. Rules and consequences are the staples of the underground world of assassins. From no-kill hotels that will murder anyone if they decide to break their sanctity, through markers that bind men in blood to fulfill their respective favors, to duels to the death that not even the High Table seems to be able to overturn out of fear of a rebellion. John Wick is a force, he's a legend, he's
Baba Yaga.
Although Baba Yaga in Slavic folklore is actually a hag/witch that lives in the woods and not the boogeyman. If you want a boogeyman, I would recommend Bebok or even Licho before good old Yadzia, but that's neither here nor there. Mr. Wick is a terrifying protagonist, built up throughout the first act of the movie to be someone feared by even the most powerful and mighty in the gangster/assassin world. A man who's beaten impossible odds in the past and is willing to do it again for the sake of his wife's memory. And of course little Daisy. And it's all perfectly encapsulated in one of my favorite scenes in any action movie ever.
It's not what you did, son, that angers me so.
It's who you did it to.
Who? The fucking nobody?
That fucking nobody is John Wick.
And after this, well, after this we all know what happens.
Crazy shit, man.
So, we've gotten 4 John Wick movies so far, and throughout them the ultimate threat of the High Table has been set up rather well. This corrupt, tyrannical force holding the world of assassins in a tight grip, deconsecrating hotels, blowing up buildings, and murdering hundreds of people. So, we've gotten 5 Twilight movies in total, and throughout them the ultimate threat of the Volturi has been set up rather well. This corrupt, tyrannical force holding the world of vampires in a tight grip, framing families they want to submit, stealing gifted children, and murdering whole covens. You see what I'm saying? Villains in both of these franchises hold the ultimate power, are evil, and pose a threat to the protagonists throughout the entire runtime, but then, at the end, they just leave. Go back to what they were doing, and the protagonists just let them. The villains are still out there in the world to hurt people. They still pose a direct threat to both the protagonists and their loved ones. The protagonists might be free at this point, but what about everyone else? These finales feel like winning a battle, not the war. They still feel like just the next chapter instead of a grand finale. And to that you can say, but silly little stories, John never wanted to destroy the High Table. He just wanted to free himself. And to that I say, you are correct. However, we see throughout the John Wick movies how the High Table operates. We see it hurt, blackmail, and destroy people. We see it being evil. The High Table is the main antagonist of the John Wick franchise, and I see no reason why it would not come back after John's demise to end everyone who stood against it. Why would they not find a reason to destroy them even when there is none? Winston, the Bowery King, Sofia, and the Ruska Roma, they are all very likely in danger after helping John. What happened in France was a compromission. A man stood against the Pantheon and won, and gods do not take kindly to such offenses. All who helped John are now in danger, same as all who helped the Collins. John's story at this point in time ends on the steps of Basilica of Sacré-Cœur. I'm Polish, you know, I do not have the accent for this. And there, he has just outwitted Bill Skarsgård.
Fools. Huh. You arrogant asshole. He didn't shoot. Consequences.
That's fucking good.
Freed himself from the High Table, and allegedly found peace in death. Bella's story ends with this fucking bullshit.
We will not fight today.
After that, the Volturis just leave to torment the vampiric world further, possibly coming back for future members of the Cullen family, or hunting down the families that oppose them here. And why wouldn't they? They know now which families answered Cullen's call. Haha. They know which ones are a possible threat. All they have to do now is hunt them down, one by one, to further assert dominance. And you know Michael Sheen is a petty enough bitch to do just that because they defied him. Volturis and the High Table remain. They remain at the top, and so the story is not over. Literally nothing has changed in the respective worlds of both John Wick and Twilight. And with how much attention and time was dedicated to said worlds, I think that this fact constitutes a pretty big flaw. And now I know that we are getting a John Wick 5 sometime in the future, but I feel like this was the time to end this franchise for good. 4 great, dare I say perfect action movies that leave behind a legendary legacy are precisely what I would want from this series. John Wick has finally freed himself from the clutches of the High Table and put Baba Yaga to rest, leaving only the loving husband behind. And I really wish this would happen after he decimated the High Table.
Do svidaniya, mój syn.
And with that, as always, thank you for listening to my silly little story, and bye bye.
This is the skin of the killer, Bill.